Hi everybody and welcome back to Jaffa Cooks, and today I'll show you how to make one of my favorites, which is a beef stroganoff. Before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click on the bell icon for the latest updates. Share with your friends and family, and if you really like it, give me a great thumbs up. Okay, one of the easiest recipes that I make today is a beef stroganoff. It's a household favorite. When I make this, I get my kids to eat a load of vegetables with it, so it's a balanced diet. So I'll show you how to make beef stroganoff, and then you can decide how you want to serve it up. You can serve it with rice, potatoes. I slip in roasted vegetables as well to get the kids a balanced diet. So for the meat, I've got General Stroganoff, which I've picked up from the supermarket, and you can do the same. But if you feel that you want to really take it to the next level, you could use top sirloin or even fillet steak, but I wouldn't go that far. I've always used top sirloin or basically stroganoff meat that comes prepared in the supermarkets. Mushrooms, I've got a punnet and a half. In fact, I've got a little bit more over a punnet and a half. I've got 2 punnets here. About a punnet and a half should be more than ample. My kids really ask me to put additional mushrooms every time because they really do like mushrooms. So there's 2 punnets of mushrooms here. I've got some stock, onions, garlic, juice of 1 lemon. I've got 400 ml of roundabout double cream. Normally we'd use sour cream, but today I deliberately didn't have sour cream. I didn't go and buy sour cream because I wanted to show you how you can use regular cream and just add lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, to basically give it that taste. And then I've just got the key ingredients, which is hot paprika. Make sure you check before you use paprika at home. There's a difference between sweet paprika and hot paprika and hot smoked. So I've got hot smoked here, salt, pepper, and some flour. And that's basically the ingredients. And then we'll compile this together, and it comes out to be a really nice dish. So just before we start, I've got a glove on. You can use your hands, or if you feel uncomfortable, just use some tongs. But a teaspoon of flour, and we're just going to really lightly coat the meat, and that gives us 2 things. One, it allows us to brown off and seal the meat and the stroganoff meat, and at the same time it'll act as a little thickener later on down the line. And that's it really. I've got a teaspoon and a half, but I'm probably going to just use about a teaspoon. That should be more than enough. And I'm going to just turn over behind me and turn on my hob. Just got to quickly carry on mixing that flour in, and it's done really, and I'll see you back at the hob in a couple of minutes. Okay, welcome back everybody. I've got the pan on the hob. I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil in it, and I'm going to now start sealing off the beef, and you'll see that I'm not going to pour all of it in one go. You'll probably do it in 2 batches, just to make sure that the temperature of the pan stays hot and warm. Now my meat looks pretty sealed off. I'm just going to remove this. Now with the same pan, again, I'm just going to do the same for the remaining meat. Just a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. I'll pop the rest of the meat in there, seal off. Okay, looks like my second batch of stroganoff is ready. So I'm going to remove this from the heat now. So back on the hob again. Now I haven't wiped or cleaned my pan. I'm just going to carry on cooking with the same pan with all the bits of meat, if there are any left over. Next, we're going to now saute the mushrooms, the garlic, and the onions. So I've just poured some olive oil. On a medium heat, I'm just going to pop the onions and the garlic. Just a little bit more olive oil. Now the onions and garlic look sauteed. Now I'm going to pour in the mushrooms. A little bit more olive oil to help them cook. Crank up the heat a little bit to just a little over medium. Okay, the mushrooms look sauteed. Take my hot paprika and my salt and pepper and incorporate those into the dish. And this is where you can really start smelling the smokiness of the paprika. And if you've never tried hot paprika before, I would recommend you try just a little bit before you use it. It may not look a lot, but it does pack a little bit of a smoky punch. Now at this stage, I'm just going to bring back my beef stroganoff and incorporate it back into my dish. Now this is where I'm going to now take my stock, once it comes up to temperature, and pour it into stroganoff itself. Now my stock is around about a cup, but it's quite thick, so I would say it's a cup and a half if you've got regular stock cube and water. Now at this stage I'm just going to pop the lid on, turn the temperature down to about low and let it simmer for around about 15 minutes. And when I'm ready for the next stage, I'll come back. Okay, welcome back. So just looking at my stroganoff, it's looking really good. And at this stage, there should be some liquid in there, not too much, but some liquid. I'm just going to give that a quick taste, just to make sure that the salt content and the heat content. Salt's good. Yep, not too hot, but I can taste the smokiness. It's got a bit of a kick to it, but what it does lack is that creamy, sour, creamy taste. So I've got my 400 ml of cream and I'm just going to slowly pour it now. I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes and this should reduce now to a thicker consistency. I've got a full lemon squeezed here, but I'm only going to use half. And what I suggest is when you get a chance to taste it later on, if you feel it requires a little bit more lemon juice, then do go ahead and pour some more in. Now at this stage, some like it very, very thick because they'll eat it with mashed potatoes or they'll have it with tagliatelle. I know my kids are going to have it with rice and sauteed potatoes, so they want it a little bit, shall we say, little gravier. So that they'll want some gravy. So thicker than this. So 25 minutes, let's simmer it, bring it down, and then I'll show you what the end of dish looks like. Okay.